Okay, let's start. So we continue to talk about the health information system. So we know in the health information system, the important things is about the interoperability. Interoperability, in fact, is talk about the two health information systems. How this health information system, they communicated with each other, whether they understand each other, and how they can understand. The interoperability issue, in fact, currently is under the consideration by the government. They have put too much efforts on the development of the interoperable health information system. About the interoperability definition, there are several definitions. We just select one of them. In fact, interoperability is ability of two or more systems. We talk about not just one health system, it's two or more systems or components to exchange information, to use the information that has been exchanged. This is one of the definition of interoperability. In fact, there are several types of interoperability. The HL7 EHR interoperability work group has developed a framework which covers 3 different points of view of the interoperability. The first type we called technical interoperability. This is one. The second one is called semantic interoperability. Then also we have process interoperability. So this is the 3 types of the interoperability. So what's the technical interoperability? In fact, for this one, we think it just considers you move data from system A to system B. Neutralize the effects of distance. I don't care about the distance. I just move the data from one place to another place. Okay? It is domain independent. It does not know or care about the meaning of what is exchanged. Perhaps you exchange is an email or it's medical records. I don't care. I just know this the interoperability can move the data from A to B. Okay? In fact, one of the foundational of the technical interoperability is called the Shannon's information theory. I'm not sure you guys know this one or not. Have you learned the Shannon's information theory? No? If you should know this one because, for example, the entropy concept all from the Shannon's information theory. Shannon's information theory is there are many basic stuff there. One is we showed here. Just say if you want to transfer the data from one place to another place, there is a possibility you can achieve 100% reliable communication over noise channel. Okay, there is a possibility. That's one. Another is just merge the information. How much the information it is. Okay, this is another thing in the theory. So the second interoperability is called semantic interoperability. In fact, semantic interoperability is what we plan to talk and use in our course. What does semantic interoperability means? In fact, semantic, we talk about the technical interoperability. That means you just care about move the information from system A to B. I don't care about whether the system A or system B, they understand each other. However, for the semantic interoperability, it must ensure system A and the system B understand the data in the same way. Okay? They need to understand now, not just the technical, just move the steps. I don't need the system A to understand B. In fact, the semantic interoperability allows the computer to understand, interpret, and use data without ambiguity. So this is the things for the semantic interoperability. In fact, this definitely is specific to domain and context, and usually involve the use of codes and identifiers. For example, if we want to transfer one person's medical records to another system, okay, from system A to system B should understand the medical records. That means system B has some software can extract the patient's name, patient's ID number, also patient's the disease records, and so on. So it has some codes and identifier inside to mark either the patient's ID, is the patient's name, also is the patient's records. That means the two systems, they need to understand each other. This is also, in fact, for their semantic interoperability is the core what we usually mean by healthcare interoperability. Because technical interoperability, that's the basic communication things they need to guarantee. Not just for health information, even for you send an email, fax, also many other things related to the technical interoperability. But for the health, we really care about is the semantic interoperability. Besides the semantic interoperability, we have another one they called process interoperability. What the process interoperability means here? In fact, what the real things you know in two places. One is place A, one is place B. You have two systems, okay? You have your health system in this hospital. They have B health system in the B hospital. So the semantic talk about the two systems communication each other. But for the process, that means we need to involve the human beings. Okay? The process is not just the system A and the system B. Okay? It coordinates work process. For example, you are in the department of nurse. The person in the department of the lab test. So the nurse send the order by system A to system B. The lab tested person work there, they receive this order. Then he will check the system B to see what's the result. If the result, I will work something. That means this interoperability, that's coordinate the work process. The work process is not just the computer now. They include the human being. Okay? Involve the human being. Enable the business process at this organization. Not just the themes of the two systems. So, in this means, the human being must understand each other, share the common understanding. The nurse orders some lab test. It's a blood test, it's a sugar test, or it's a P test. Then the person in the laboratory, must understand. That means the person working in the library and the person working in the nurse side, they need to have this common understanding. So that's called process interoperability. Okay, so you understand the whole three levels. Yeah. Okay. So the process interoperability, you can say, is based on the semantic interoperability. The semantic interoperability is based on the technical operability. If there is no technical operability, you cannot move the data from A to B. So semantic interoperability does not exist because it's based on technique. The same, the processor interoperability, you need the person to do the right things. The business processor is organized, must based on the semantic interoperability. Okay, so this is just, you can say it's a high level, low level, high level relationship. So this is the basic things for the interoperability. So what's the benefit of interoperability? If there are many health information systems here, if there is no interoperability here, so system A cannot understand system B. System B cannot understand here. Why you need to develop this health information system? That's useless. You can just use a single system. If you want Marker Hospital, the health system there, understand the health information system in the political system. These two systems, they must understand each other. Okay, so that's why it's important. If they will affect the treatment, diagnosis, affect medicines. So one question some people is think about this one. If we have many systems, for example, if we have 5, 6 systems here, for each system you can understand each other, that's fine. That means you have a protocol for system A and B. System A then have another protocol with system C. A and have another protocol with D. So how many protocols they use? They need 3 now. In this one, so each two need 1. Then we have 6 here. How many protocols we need?
15.
15. We need 15 protocols. Yeah. Okay, that means too much protocols. So, but if we have a common protocols, every system can understand. That you just need 1. Okay, that makes it seem simple. For example, this is there are so many protocols here. Here we just have 1 protocol. Every computer can be used this protocol, okay, to understand which each other. So make it seems easy. For example, even your system is 1 setting, but you can transmit to this kind of a protocol with other computer. You just use 1 protocol, 1 protocol. Okay, that makes things easy, understand, make the developer easy to develop software, make the user also easy to use the health information software. Okay, so that's we need to talk about this kind of things. So, in fact, the interoperability is very hard to develop interoperable system, health information is very hard. Why? There are several things we need to think about. First is translation things. The computers store data in different ways. Okay? Your computer use this way, their computer use another way. Even the computer sometimes, your computer is a workstation, their computer is a PC laptop. Okay? That makes this seems communication also is difficult. Also, every time you need to translate into native format. So this translation is also bit perfect means you want to transfer the data from one computer to another computer. I don't want to lose the quality of the data because this health information system sometimes affect the diagnosis. So I need the bit perfect. Okay. Also, the user of the health information system include the doctors, nurse, lab testers. Also, you sometimes include the patients. Different patients, they have different viewpoint. Different, also some people like this one, some people like other one. They speak different dialect. Some people do not use this system, some people use like other system. Some people use like this interface, some like other interface. So this is also make the interoperability very difficult. Another is the developer. You developer, you need to understand what the user want to. Also, you need to understand the user, what they want. You have different user. Also, it's difficult to satisfy every user. Okay? So this is very difficult to make an interoperable system. That's why interoperability is very hard. So, in fact, for the healthcare interoperability, it's based on the application of standards. Okay? What kind of standard you use, then you can realize the interoperability. So what we need to talk about in this course is the standards. You need to make two systems to communicate with each other, to understand each other. You must use the same standards. So that makes things easy. So what is a standard? Also their meaning, definition. International Standard Organization, ISO means, defines a standard as a document. It's a document established by consensus and approved by a recognized body. This is the two key things here. One, established by consensus. The second one is must approved by some recognized body. Okay? This recognized body provides for common and repeated use rules, guidelines, or characteristics for activities or the results, aimed at the achievement of optimum degree of order in a given context. So this is the basic definition of standards. Okay. For example, not just in the healthcare area. In this area, see here, also they need the standards to make this part match the other part. Not time ago, some years ago, when I go to China, I bought a computer from the United States. I cannot find the power outlet because that doesn't match. They're not use the same standard. You can just want to plug in, you cannot find the where you can plug in. So why this is told why the standard is important. Okay? So standards, some standards are very strict. Okay? Some standard is exact specification. What you need to do. Okay? It's enable in the working of large and both even the paint colors computers. If, for example, we want to set some system, I need the computer should be there. I need the computer color with black. Also, what kind of the internet cable you use and so on. We just make so that you can make up some system based on these standards. This is very strict. But sometimes also there is some standards. It just have minimum threshold. This minimum threshold to ensure the safety and the quality of process, materials, and the environment. For example, I told this guy, my standard is you set up a health information system. I don't care what kind of computer you use, what kind of speed you use. Just set up a computer, make it work, make it can be transferred data. That's enough for me. That is the minimum thresholds. It's not the exact specification. Do you think this minimum threshold is good for the healthcare information system? No. For the health interoperability, we need stringent specification. Okay, you guys, you will know in the future we have very stringent specification. You can based on these standards to develop interoperable health information system. Okay, so we talk about standards. Just now, standards was based on censuses. Also, is approved by recognized body. This kind of recognized body we call standards organization. Not for health information system. For other system, for other information system, we also have some standards. So there are many standards organization exist in the world and also in the United States. I here just list some of them standards organization. The first one is called American National Standards Institute. This is based on the United States. Okay. The second one is called CEN. That's Europe Community for Standardization. That's the CEN. Also, we have IEEE. It's called Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Also, we have International Standards Organization, Worldwide Web Consortium. This kind of is the standard organization. Different organizations make different standards. Also, one organization perhaps make different standards. For example, American National Standards Institute, they make almost any kind of standards about the health information, about the emergency management system, about the communication system. IEEE are the same. CEN are the same. ISO also the same. Do not just make one. Okay? But there is some organizations that specialize in health information system. For example, the first one is DICOM. This is one standard organization, especially for the health informatics. DICOM is digital image and communication in medicine. If I think you work on the image, there is an image format called DICOM. That's based on the DICOM standard. Okay. Also, we have another HL7. It's called Health Level 7. Also, we are touch about this one. The third one is IHTSDO. It's called International Health Terminology Standards Development Organization. For also WHO, we call it World Health Organization. Okay, we have many other organizations. Some organizations will make some standards. Some will develop some standards. In fact, this page we just copied from the textbook, just to show the healthcare standard developed organizations. For this picture, you need to understand the basic idea. Okay, the first one is American National Standard Institute. For the healthcare, they make the IANSI-X12. This is claim processor. Also, the Health Information Technology Standards Panel, they set up this one. Okay, ASTM is Continuum of Care Records CCR. For this kind of things, you will learn in the future. Of CDISS is majorly for the pharmaceutical trials. CNTC 251 is for health informatics. DICOM I talked just now. GSI is barcode in the RFID. Okay. HL7 is special deal with the clinic and administrative data. Also, we have IEEE. It's majorly work on the bedside devices. Also, IHTSDO is work on the SNOMAT CT. That is the terminology for the medicine, standard terminology. Because when you talk about some disease, you must use the standard terminology, or other people don't understand you. Okay. Also, we have industry consortia, include IHE, XDS, continue home health devices, open EHR, open health tools. Also, we have the ISO TC215. Okay. So this kind of standard developed organization, in fact, we are in the book, we have this one. So I suggest you go to read the book, that you can find many things there. So just now, we talk about the organization make the standards. Who make the standards? Now let's talk about the health information technology standards categories. Because you have many standards, different standards sometimes deal with different things. Okay? The first category is called data exchange and messaging standards. For this one, it's majorly for content instructions, for format, data elements, and structure. For what? For transaction. Okay? Between two systems. How the systems were format. What's the data format? Okay? What's the message format? For example, you send a message to another system needs to know this format of the data. Know the message format. Which part is included the data? Which part include the address? Which part include the patient's ID? Which part include the disease of the patient's description? Okay? This for data exchange and message standards. Also, terminology standards, I just already talked about you. In medicine, the computer must understand other computer. For example, for the cancer, you must describe this skin cancer. What kind of skin cancer? There is have specific terminology describe this kind of cancer. Then another computer receive this one. They have the same understanding. This is a spatial skin cancer. I forgot the name, but they can understand each other. That's the terminology. You must use the same terminology for the specific disease. That's called terminology standards. In fact, for the first one, data exchange and message standards, we have HL7 version 2.43 or something. Then we have HL7 version 3, DICOM. But for the terminology standard, we basically have ICD-9, SNOMED CT. We hope to talk about the SNOMED CT, okay? Talk about what it is. So this is the basic themes. We still have another for the document standards. What's the document standards? Just you need to tell what kind of information is included in the document and where it can be found. You cannot include everything in your document, okay? If you include everything in the document, I don't think the computer can understand. You must specify what kind of things you need to include in the document. So we also have some standards. It's called CDA. We will talk about the CDA in this class, okay? Another is about the standards category. It's conceptual standards. This one is just the allow data to be transported across system without loss meaning and context. Okay, this we will talk about HL7 RIM. Another two categories is the application standards and the architecture standards. For the application standards, majorly determine how business rules are implemented and how software systems interact. For this one, we have CCOW. It's called Clinical Context Management Specification. Okay, perhaps we will not talk about this one. Another is the architecture standards, define data storage and distribution process. So this one, how you store the data, and also how the distribution process. This is the example for this one is public health information network. Also, we don't plan to talk this one, but you need to understand some concept here. Okay, for this kind of concept, you can check on the Google. So for health informatics, meaning terminology, I think the terms you need to find in Google or something. That's easy to find the place. Let's introduce the basic themes. For today, I will just introduce the basic idea. In the future, we will study the detail. First is the organization, HL7. In fact, HL7 is an international standards developed organization. Currently, I remember it has 31 countries with affiliation. I remember United States, UK, or some they are member. But China, I found they are not the member. Japan is the member. Also, there is Australia, I remember, is the member for this organization. Okay. In fact, when they first create the HL7, the vision is to create the best and most widely used standards in healthcare. In fact, HL7 is now currently I think it's still really is the best and the most widely used standards. But the best I don't know, but it's widely used standards in healthcare. Many people, many software developers use the HL7 to develop the health system. Okay. In fact, the HL7 creates standards for the exchange, manage, and integration of electronic health care information for clinic and administrative purpose. Okay, that's clinic and administrative purpose. That's you need to know here, not just for others. Clinic and administrative. That's the main purpose for HL7. So, in fact, HL7 is ANSI accredited standard development organization. In fact, the HL7 currently is working with the Health Information Technology Standards Panel. Not now, but they closed up in 2010. They worked since 2005 with the Health Information Technology Standard Panel. This it's called HITSP. This HITSP, it was established in 2005 on a contract to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. In fact, the Health Information Technology Standard Panel not just work with the HL7, it also cooperated with other standard organizations. Okay. In fact, for the HITSP, they just combine several standards. For example, HL7, also they collect CDA. I remember they also collect other standards. They make some new documents. So they help the health information software developer to develop the software. So in fact, HL7 not just cooperate with the Health Information Technology Standard Panel. They also cooperate with the national, international ISO TC 215 and Europe CEN TC 251 standard development organization. Also, they work with other specialized SDOs such as the IHTSDO, okay, and CDISC. Through the joint initiative on SDO Global Health Informatics standardization. Okay, and sometimes the initiative on the health informatics standardization, just they have a joint initiative. And you may forget the exact years. So, how the HL7's name come from? Have you ever studied the computer network?
Yes.
Okay. You know the OSI model? They have 7 layers there. Okay. This is the top layer. Okay. Because the application layer. So this is the why? Because here's layer 7. Because this is the application layer. Okay. So that's the name come from. In fact, for the HL7, this organization, they produces 4 types of document. The first is they call the normative standard. This standard is a real standard. They need to be piloted by the general membership. And it contains the structural component of the HL7 standard. Negative barriers must be resolved. For example, United States it does not agree with this standard. Then we need to have some solution to make it to agree with, or you can change something. For the draft standard for trial use, they call it DSTU. This is just the draft standard. Generally, this also needs to be balloted by the general membership. But that treated as draft. Generally, it's wait about 2 years, okay, to see whether it can be incorporated into normative standard. If it can, that's fine. If not, that's the giveaway. So this is, you can show it's a draft standard. Another is called a reference. Reference, in fact, is not the need approval from the general membership. It can be just be approved by the HL7 board. It's just a harmless during HL7 meeting. It's not subject to the board acceptance. Even it does not, United States does not agree with us, that's fine. We just reference put there. That's board approved, that's fine. So this is this third type of HL7s. The last one is called informative. Informative need to be balloted by the general membership. But it is not considered as a structural part of the standard, but only for supporting information. Okay, so with 3 types of documents, 3 types of them must be balloted. The reference doesn't need. So this is the things. So about the website, or you even want to know more about the HL7, in fact, the resource, and remember it's open. So you can just go to the www.hl7.org. Then you can find many documents, standard details, everything is there. Even there is a community there. So, besides the HL7, we also have another standard development organization. One of them is called International Health Terminology Standards Development Organization, IHTSDO. In fact, currently this organization is majorly deal with the SMART CD. That's standard for the medicine terminology. Originally, it was established in 2007. when you acquired IP of some SNOMAD CD from the College of American Pathologists. Okay. Current members include Australia, Canada, Cyprus, Denmark, okay, New Zealand, Singapore, UK, and the United States. So this kind of organization is also important. If it's good to join them, then you can in the future you can vote something or can do something. Okay. Another organization that we call the IHE. IHE the full name is Integrating the Healthcare Enterprise. This was established in 1999 by HIMSS and the Radiological Society of North America. In fact, the first idea, they want to improve the way the computer to share the information. Okay? The start point, the first is want to make it work in the radiology department. But currently, they just extend to the cardiology, clinic, laboratories, and other specialties. The second dimension of IHF's work is, has been the development of IT infrastructure standards for use across the department and institutional boundaries. For example, the XDS profile. They just work on this one. Okay. Perhaps we will talk something about the XDS, but I'm not sure. Depending on the time. Another is the container aliens. For this one, in fact, is also a non-profit organization. Okay, majorly original, but it's deal with the personal health solution. For example, for the telehealth solution in the home, and so on. So this is especially for the personal stuff. For the wearables, okay, management. For example, when you're running, you can use some monitor to monitor your heart, how many beats. Or can be monitor your blood pulse, okay, and so on, pressure. So that's related the standards related to the health, personal health solution. So this organization. Also, there is another foundation. It's called Open EHR. I'm not sure the software is developed by them. Last time you download?
No, the Open EMR.
Oh, Open EMR. Okay, that's the difference. So this is also a not for profit foundation, which has developed a technology-independent architecture, include a reference model, archetypes, and templates. In fact, the main activity for this organization is to promote the undertaking of the open EHR technology globally. So the last, also we talk about the CDIS. CDIS majorly deal with is founded by the pharmaceutical industry. Okay. They will, in fact, the aim is developed worldwide industry standards to support electronic acquisition, exchange, submission, and coming on clinical trial state and material for medical in pharmaceutical products development. So this is me. In fact, the CDISC the mission is to lead the development of global vendor neutral platform independent standards to improve data quality and accelerate product development. In fact, for this kind of things, depend on the organization, So there are many organizations have different description of their mission. So we talk about the standards. In fact, there are many drawbacks about standards. The first one, proper standards may not exist. Also, standard development takes time and money. Okay, this drawback. Also, it's hard to find them. Most operate standards. There may be too many. Standard may change over time. You will find that many standards change over time. Standard can be hard to comprehend. Standard may be hard to implement. Conformance testing may be hard. So this is the drawbacks of standards. At least the standard needs to develop understand standards. Okay? Not just for the health information standards, for other information system standards also is difficult to understand sometimes. If you don't understand the standards, if you need you to develop some software for the healthcare, that is difficult. Okay. Also, sometimes standards may conflict. They may be expensive to use. Okay. But also, standards is very important. If you see this figure, see here, this is the time you use to develop software. If you without standard take a long time, but use standard, that the effort is not too much. Okay. See here, this is no standards. It's just with the time. First, perhaps you don't put some effort on it, but with the time, you take much time, much effort. However, for the user standard, first we need to take some time to read, to understand, develop these standards. But after it's development, after it's developed, you can use it. That just takes little efforts. That's the benefit of standards. If you have standard, can be increased vendor acceptance. Okay, reduce cost when you integrate the system. If there's no standard there, if let you to integrate two systems, that's terrible. Okay. The many things is to say that the importance of the standards. Okay. After you how to apply the standards. Firstly, we need to determine the context. Okay. Collaboration, usage, or some things. You also, secondly, you need to determine the standards in relevant categories. You need to use the standard in architecture, application, conceptual, document, terminology, data exchange, and messaging. Based on your needs, you can select the standard. Okay? That's what I want to talk today, okay? So next time we need to go to, next time, Wednesday, you should be, originally I planned you guys to give a presentation, okay? If not, you guys need to record your stuff. Use the screen records, then put it on the line. One is the XML, another is S, what's the other one? Do you remember? I can't remember. Yeah. I put it on the cameras, okay? So the coming Wednesday we don't have class. I will put you guys the PowerPoint in the screen records there. Say the student presentation, okay? We have several student presentations this semester. I remember it's 3. This is the first one. So let's talk about next Monday, okay? So.
down for the week.
Exhausted.
Glad we don't have this class on Friday, so.
Yeah.
I was thinking we did on Friday, and I was like, oh, guess not.
Yeah, we just got one class on Friday.
Yeah, me too, now that I know, don't know this one.
Now, Christine, this one. This one?
Maybe I want to be in the middle.
Maybe Raven wants to be.
Oh,
I think she's moved your backpack. Please remember.
So when are we supposed to be doing something more about this presentation?
God. It's like Lego slamming it.
Yeah, maybe she'll talk to us.
I guess she's got to pick out which one you're doing first.
Yeah.
Try again.
You didn't look at the email, so you didn't look at that from when I submitted it.
Oh yeah, I looked at the ones when you were, the new two that you found. I mean, I didn't look up the look up the articles, but I just read the titles.
Oh, see, your backpack's here. She has to sit here.
Yeah, I don't even remember what they were.
Logan, come
It
this
doesn't
way.
help that you have boobs. They make great bounce
Software
effects.
process.
Yeah. Yep, I'm assuming that's.